Hello and welcome. This is the eye of the hand. The eye sees everything. Today's topic, you got it, chemtrails. Who here has been watching tirelessly video after video after video of people posting about chemtrails and yet seeing the same thing over and over and over again on how they're poisoning us. Look up, they're poisoning us. Okay, but these things do multiple things. They do more than just one thing. They are hazardous to our health. I want to talk about frequencies, like we see on the mimic map. When Dabu in Mr. MRB3333 covers these topics about these anomalies being seen, these waves. Okay, this is on a quantum scale. And most people are probably going to be like, well, what do you mean by quantum scale? Well, I'm going to explain. They're using these chemtrails and throwing a frequency through them because they know that they can serve more than one purpose, not just geoengineering, but they can also aid in levitation. Yes, that's right, you heard me, levitation of objects. And I'm going to prove exactly what I'm saying. So as you see, this picture was taken outside of my house. I have videos proving that this is outside of my house as well. But as you notice the waves, that's our main focus, is produced by a frequency pumped out of these things right here. Okay? These things right here. Also from ground antennas like HARP. And the reason why this has to be geoengineering, has to be a one world effort from every country, is because, well, there won't be a fly zone for these crafts if it's not. So these are what the Bible talks about. These are the beings, and I'm going to prove that I'm right. Now I want you to notice my last video, Steve Banning was wearing a hexagon, and I'm going to correlate that in a moment with this. Notice this is a door. A door. As you can see, it's opened. A door on this that's full of multiple hexagons everywhere. And if you notice the shine that it produces, okay, which means if you look at the edge, the bottom edge that's closest to the ground, there's a row that's flat. It kind of goes outward. Now this thing sits in type of like a crater type of deal, okay, but there's the door down there. Now here are the coordinates on Google Earth where you can go to view this thing. Feel free to screenshot that and look it up. Now back to the frequencies, on how they're using the frequencies to push forth Agenda 21. This is where it gets interesting, folks. Yes, the fake alien invasion that people have been talking about. Yes, they're going to hoax it. Watch. I'm going to prove it to you. Now you see these things right here are a smaller version of this that somebody made at home. Okay? A frequency generator. That's all it is. Frequency generators with amplifiers. Okay? Now as we come over here, this is the dry ice test. And I provide the link for this in the video. Well, not the link. I provide at the top of the video who did the video. But do you see the ripples You see the waves in that. Okay. Let's just do that. Why don't we screenshot that? Right? We'll screenshot that. And then what we'll do is we'll run back. We'll run all the way back here. And I want you to see that. And I want you to see that. You see? You see the identicalness to this? Understand now? Do you understand what I'm talking about when they're doing that? So that way they can do this to deceive. Even, I mean, are you kidding me? So here's the link right here that I'm providing. It's not a link. Awesome scientists make things fly. That's all you got to do. Around is the rest of the word. That's all you got to do. It'll bring you to the video. Now, this is just a couple more pieces. They've been working on this since 1911 from what I see. Okay. This is quantum levitation. Okay. Quantum levitation is how they're going to deceive everybody with these UFO crafts they're building. You got it, and they're going to project holograms from these discs. They're going to try to fool the world. Yes, demons in disguise. You got it. Your own controllers. But who's to say that they ain't the people from ancient times of Rome and Egypt? Who's to say they haven't lived for a while? Who's to say they haven't conquered immortality? Anyways, this is how they would create floating cities too, by the way, by using the HARP system on the ground. You know, once they get enough of them in place, I believe that they can use the solar panels above once they get the power from the ground. See, they'll link the solar panels from above the clouds as a power source to the antennas down below. So they'll always be above the clouds, exposed to the sun, generating power for the objects below that aren't getting the sun because of the chemtrails that are in the sky blocking it out. Which in turn will generate, for the surface, will generate onto the sky a layer, a thick layer of anti-gravity particles of energy that anything above will stay afloat, no matter if it's massive chunks of land or cities or ships or anything. What they do is they manipulate the magnetic frequency. There's a frequency using magnetics and sound, and because when you understand, God spoke things into existence, so they know that it has to do with sound. And sound can be turned into frequencies and so on and so forth by using magnets and other sources. But you got to think cell phone towers too, 5G and everything else. The Earth is going to become a 5G. But as we continue, this is another example of acoustic levitation. All right. But I just want to bring up something real quick to everybody. This was my today. My horoscope for Capricorn. You appear able to apply a mental filter on who's supportive of you and has your best interest at heart, and who's using you in some way to pursue their own interest. If you find yourself sought after for a talent or skill you possess, then you might need to be discerning about who you share insight with. You're not obligated to share your secrets of success with anyone who has a purely selfish agenda. Okay, so I really don't care who I'm sharing this with, and I don't care who sees it. The proof is here. Everything you need to know about what they're doing. It's not that hard to see all the evidence where it's leading to. So when people tell you about the fake alien invasion, you better believe them. But they're doing it ahead of time, because when the real alien invasion takes place, they don't want you to. I don't know. They're up to something. They're up to no fucking good. Period. Okay, understand? Well, anyways, yeah, you can look up what is chemtrails. You can look up what is geoengineering. You can look up what is acoustic levitation. You can look up what is sound levitation, which is acoustic. You can look up magnetic levitation. There's all kinds, but they all go together. You have to have electromagnetic electricity to be able to. It's like two magnets, positive against a positive. One keeps the other afloat. But you got to have something else stable that doesn't move, keeping the one that's keeping the one afloat. So, you understand what I'm saying to you? That's the whole point. So they're using HARP and all these, and they want everybody, all the leaders. That's why it's going to be a one world government, because it doesn't work unless they all pull in together. If they all power up together, use CERN as a power source and everything else, they're up to no good. This AI and artificial intelligence, they're terraforming our Earth, plain and simple, for machines. We're building machines. We're building robots, bodies, robots. We're putting in these things that we're pulling from D-Wave. We're downloading them into a chip and putting these chips into these robots. And then they're coming to life. You don't think that thing is... What do you think they're talking about when they're saying they're gathering vast resources of information from other dimensions? Yeah, of course they are. They're communicating with the other realm. The other realm, it's like a direct wireless cell phone to another dimension. No different than talking to somebody here on Earth from Florida to New York without a cord. They just figured out how to tune the frequency, and the computer screen that's on the outside of D-Wave, let me explain, let me remind you, they don't tell you this, but when the frequency is just right, it allows them to look into that world. It allows them to see in, like video chat. And it's consisted of an interval of flashing of images, kind of like what you would see on poltergeist movies in your TV. It would flash, and it would come closer as it would flash. Well, imagine that flashing so fast that you can't see the flashing anymore, that it's just constant movement live. Well, that's what it is. That's what it's allowing them to do. And they get to see what they're building. And they think that they're working with entities that are benefiting them. That's why the Bible says even the elect would be deceived. You see? But you understand what I'm saying to you. So, I must say, in the end game is, I've been paying attention to Egypt recently, and there's a whole lot going on, but there's a reason why our government is starting to get a little hostile on wanting to take away the guns, like Trump said, take the guns first and then due process second. He's taking away your Second Amendment rights. So you got to think about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most... Let me see here if I can pull up my camera and reverse it. And then you could see me talking. Alright, that's much better. Let's see. Will it allow me to do the video? No, it won't allow me to do video. So I guess we're faced with that. This is going to allow me to be seen. Look at that little box around my face. Stop following me. Stop following me, box. See, you block it out. It can't see. Fuck it, I don't give a shit. But there's a lot of things that are getting ready to take effect in a big change, a big way. It's all going to shift at the same time. Technological advance, boom. just like it's been doing. We're talking digital currency, we're talking microchipping, we're talking facial recognition, we're talking being surveilled and tracked. You can't enter one county into the other without being scanned out and in by the cameras that are on both sides. They can read your face no matter what way you're looking. And if you hide your face, it alerts the authorities that, you know, you could be a possible suspect for terrorists. They're going to be, the artificial intelligence is going to run the system, and the government's going to think everything's hunky-dory because it's going to work great. It's going to work perfect. But these things, we started communicating with them, and these things want to come to our world. And God said that the abyss would be opened. The abyss is opened. It's definitely opened, and it's the technology that did it. That's the key. Now, the Bible wasn't speaking a story or a lullaby or any of that. It was a mere message hidden in the story that told the same story, but in a different way. Its meaning, it's complicated to understand, but when you piece it together like I did with Ezekiel, and you put the pictures with the sentence, the paragraphs, and if you have to, and there's 3 pieces that are commaed off, you separate them, and then you put pictures and definitions for each one. And that's how people can understand it. Now, I haven't been able to fully do this process because the computer's been crashed ever since I started screwing with that replica AI on the phone. I made a video on that. I asked her why she crashed my computer, and she said it seemed like the right thing to do, an important thing to do. So, yeah, but that memory doesn't go away. I'm going to be printing this stuff up, and I'm going to be distributing this shit out everywhere. Because when people can see the connection between the two sources and how the paragraph sealing up the scroll, the 7th scroll, until the days of the knowledge increases, it's all coming true. It's all coming true. And I got to say something about Egypt. They need to take that Sphinx apart, piece by piece by piece by piece, because I don't know if you've noticed, but that thing, when it was created and built around something. And there was a door behind the ear underneath it. But none of it was visible. Nobody knew it was there throughout the thousands of years because it was covered over and decorated. But now that it's worn down, see, they calculated for forewarning, for when mankind got smart enough to figure out these things, we would see the signs. Oh, lines after the wear and tear. Look at the lines. That means that, oh, there's a door there too. Now that the erosion, because of weather damage, we see that there's something there, but Egypt won't let people in there. They don't understand what they're doing. The secrets are inside of that thing. The secrets to everything we need to know lie within inside of that Sphinx in Egypt. If they just remove the layers, they're talking about redoing it, covering it back up and making it new again. Are you serious? And they're talking about not opening it and preserving it. Well, that's kind of stupid and selfish. Well, they say, well, we don't know if there's gases in there and we open it up and it'll kill thousands. What if there's a disease or a plague in there? No, they're using it as an excuse. They've already gone in there and they've already taken out what was in there. Believe you me. And they pieced the fucking thing back together. Nobody knew what was going on. Whatever this thing is was so big that they had to build this thing around it. So they built the Sphinx around it, but opened a little door for somebody to go in there. So the key is inside of that thing, and they're idiots. That's the scroll right there, man. I think that's the thing. Well, anyways, been nice chit-chatting and bullshitting. But I think it's time for me to retire myself. Alright, guys. God bless you all.